Well, we've got the transformer out, 4 screws, and they've been derusted, but no, I'll be putting new screws and nuts in this beast. I have cleaned up the top, and I haven't got my lights on, have I? How's that? It's a bit better. Yeah, cleaned up the top. I'm about to put some rust preventative paint on there, and then eventually we'll doing the same colour as the rest of the radio, the original gold colour. The transformer come up quite nicely, actually. That's him. He looks pretty good, and there's our markings on him. I'll just give you a bit better look at that. Okay, and yeah, he doesn't look like it's been heated severely or anything like that. We do have one eye missing from this is the EI transformer, one eye missing. After taking him out, he was very, very corroded, but oh boy, that's almost through. I do have some other material here that I can make up another one to just sit in there. He's a little bit thin and worse for wear, so yeah, we won't be using that. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you this before I paint it. That's what it looks like, and it's come up quite well. It's derusted completely, and we'll certainly give him a primer coat to make sure there's no rust happening here again. And then, yeah, then it's on with cleaning the rest of the inside of this radio. And I've done the resistors, I guess the capacitors soon, but I do want to clean it now and possibly clean the top as well. So the top, we're looking at this at the moment, get these off, clean everything up and get it ready to repaint. The original colour, sort of a gold. Yeah, well, it's not sort of, it is a gold. A little bit of pitting here, but I'm sure our sandblaster will sort things out. Do have to remove these fellas. They're very rusty, so I will be taking them out, as well as all these fellas down the track. But for the moment, we're just involved in the cleanup. Okay, so there it is. That's what I'm up to at the moment. A big, big job. Right, guys, we're working on the chassis cleanup. Now, what I've decided to do, this whole chassis is, yeah, I've removed a bit of rust here, and it's nice and smooth. It's actually, the rust is coming off nicely. I've decided to strip the whole thing. So I started by removing this IF transformer. Now, this is IF transformer number 1, the first IF tranny, and this, actually, we had a broken wire on this, which is your screen to your 6, what have we got? The 6D6. So this is the IF transformer. Now, I should have recorded this. There was a lot going on and we didn't record it, but this is it, how I took it out. It's got to be cleaned up a bit. And interesting to notice the little spring type wire that's been put in there from the transformer coil itself. The coil has got a split down in there, which is only a split in the wax. So I'm going to very gently clean this up, heat this so that that seals back up with the wax, clean the top, and of course new wire and cap, valve cap. Make sure all these are cleaned up. They're your trim capacitors. So you've got 2 screws here, one for each coil, and they're actually your mica capacitors. That's how these are built. So doesn't look to be any mica disease or anything like that in there. It all looks very, very clean. So I think we'll be fairly lucky with these transformers. This is a ceramic top that is not plastic. It's ceramic. So that's what we've got there to tidy up. So we'll now that come out of this can. The can is beautiful inside, and it also had this piece of cardboard. You will see the second one come out. I'll be taking him out shortly. So that's how it all was. And obviously we'll strip these, clean them all up, get rid of the corrosion and repaint them. So I decided, well, let's get into it. Let's do the job properly. I've released I've undone the nuts on the bottom of these. That's your antenna coil, okay, for your AM actually. And this one here is your antenna coil for your shortwave. Now I've labelled these fellas where they go, as well as on the transformer itself. Got to take this fella out yet, and then, well, as I said, I'm going to strip this out. Now, I'll just give you another view here. You can see that's nice and smooth. It's actually not eaten into it. This will come up lovely when I get it all done. This valve socket, you probably noticed earlier, it does have a little bit of a burn there where the HT has been arcing across. Something's got to be done with that fella. A rivet and a screw, 2 rivets in that one, screws, screws, and screws. So let's get rid of the rivets in those, and we'll put all new screws in here. The valve shields, I don't know, did this have goat shields on it or not? But anyway, our shield bases have got to be taken out and to be cleaned up. They're not real good. So now, when I take the valve bases out, I unscrew these, take the volume control band switch out. We've released our ladder here. Most of this will come out as one piece. I don't have to rewire the whole thing, although when this is out, this will make our rewiring and recapping a lot easier. So I'm thinking, okay, let's remove the whole thing out of the chassis and let's strip the chassis, strip the paint, coat it with some good primer. There's areas like that's got a little bit of rust on it. So we'll put some good primer and repaint the whole thing gold or a goldish colour. We've got to work out this colour as it originally was. So yeah, it was starting to change the parts, and I thought, well, no, with this as it is, yeah, it's cleaned up okay, would repaint okay there. You've got to mask things up. I don't want to mask everything up, so just going to strip the rest out. So with this fella, now record that's the IF2, the IF transformer number 2, and I'll show you him as we remove the cover. Now, one of my diagrams, we've actually found out this is an M96 radio. That's my latest information on that, and which is very similar to the 81. Our IF frequency on these fellas, okay, is 446 kilohertz. So there's our IF, there's our trimmers across it. So there's no slug there to adjust on these. You've only got the trimmers, which I showed you just a while ago. Okay, so now it's remove this cover, document where this transformer goes in, which is, yeah, there's a lot of documentation here. If the worst comes to the worst, we've sort of got a schematic, but yeah, I've got to be very careful to document every single connection when I'm taking this apart. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so I've released the ladder. I've taken a couple of wires off here, one off that where that goes, a wire goes to 150 ohm resistor there. It goes down, I think it goes down to the valve socket, and this one up the end here, which also goes to the valve socket here. I'm not looking up the pin numbers at the moment. We need to tip this up a little bit to get at a nut holding that IF transformer in, or the IF transformer can actually, not the transformer itself. Okay, we've got that one off. Now there's another fella right down in here. I don't quite know how we're going to get at this. If we squeeze in here, like so, yes, we can get to him. Okay, well this takes the can off. Now, when I'm finished this, get the can off, I am going to solder the leads back on here, because all this will be coming out as one piece, so with the valve sockets. So hopefully there won't be too much referring to the circuit of how things were wired. I'll just sit that back on there, and we'll rewire the fellow down in here, which is that fella. We'll put him back. This is just so I don't lose track of everything that we're doing. Because if you lose track of where a lot of things are up to, makes it very difficult later on with having to go back to the circuit and more or less rebuild the whole radio as a kit radio. That, yeah, it can take days and days to do that. Right, now we should be able to take the lid off our transformer. This is IFT2, and now this transformer does come out of the lid. Now the other one was a little bit tight, and just a little bit of gentle persuasion onto the top of him, like so. There we go. I think we're just about there. Okay, there we come, coming out the bottom. Right, we're out. There we go. Evidence of a spider being in there. And this is, yeah, just jammed on the couple of rivets there. Just makes it a little bit harder to get out. But there's our can. And here's our transformer. A little bit of dirt in there. Not too bad. The wax is lifting slightly there, nothing drastic. And we'll have to document the cables here so we know where they go to. Okay, well, there's the removal. I've documented where the 4 wires go. There's our IF transformer, number 2. Now I have put number 2 in there, which you probably can't see. Anyway, there's a 2 scribbled on there, just so I know which one's which. And once again, the trimmers look very good. There looks to be no mica disease or anything like that, so I'm pretty sure all these will be okay. We might spear a what was it, a 46 kilohertz signal through this fellow, and just put him on the oscilloscope and check the secondary to make sure everything is roughly good with these. We may, but I guess just looking at these, as long as we've got continuity, we'll test the trimmers to make sure that they're variable, and yeah, providing all that works, gently heat the wax, just give him a little bit of a clean to start with. I'm keeping all the wax that's actually come off in places like there, and yeah, we'll certainly use that again. Now there is some writing on this fella. I'll clean him up and give you a look. Now I'm probably going to do a better job with the camera with this, but I couldn't quite read what it says. Not real sure. You guys might be able to latch onto that better than what I can. New York. I can see New York. And Hamrand. Something like that. And what is written on the bottom? Not sure. You guys might be able to, any of your vintage guys out there, like way vintage, might be able to pick that up a little bit better than me. So yeah, chuck him in the comments. Like to know just exactly where this was made, who it was made by, so forth. Yeah, and I'm sure all of us are interested in gear like this. This is very vintage. All right, let's get on with a little bit of maybe some socket removal and a little bit more documentation, I guess. Well, we've made a bit more of a mess. We've been in and I've taken, I'll go over this side, I've taken the screws out of these fellas, out of all the valve bases. Now all I've got is these fellas holding the assembly in. well, if you call it the assembly. But yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. I'll just bring you into line with it a bit. There you go. So all this is reasonably loose. There's your band switch. We've got volume control. We do have a little cap down here, which is a trim cap, which is on two standoffs. So we've got to just take those nuts off and lift him out, as well as the aerial connection, which is this fella, which goes down to the outside push terminal. Then the second push terminal has nothing on it. The next one along has got, he's going to have to be undone. And then the next one along is a ground. So I don't know, we can't do these from up the top here, I don't think. They've got to be done from underneath. There's our two valve can covers, the bases. So yeah, they're not too bad underneath, actually. They need cleaning up, but not too bad. But a bit of rust on top of them. So they're going to be done. Where we stand now, we'll try and we can get this. I've got to be careful of those coils, actually. We'll release this little trimmer cap here, which are these two here. I'm not sure of how much you guys want to watch of this, but anyway, it'll be interesting, especially putting it together. The nuts off that fella. Now, he will have a couple of standoffs that we're here for. You can see that he's floating in the breeze now, and most of this assembly, we do have a broken coil there, so we've got to patch him up. I'm not real sure whether I broke him or not. I don't think I did, but in actual fact, I might release that wire so that he doesn't break any further, because it's pulling on him, and there's a very fine one of the wires from the coil attached, and I don't need any more problems there. There we go. That's better. It's released him, and yeah, it's not snagging on this broken piece, which does have one of the windings connected to him. So all can come out there, no problems. Move him across a little bit. We can now get at our connectors down there. So I can undo these. Now, give us a little bit better look if you can see them. There they are. Okay, we'll start up at the aerial side. And of course it wants to turn. There we go. He's out. There we go. These have got to be cleaned up, but we'll probably take them apart and clean them up. I'd like to keep the originals if I can. So that will be our earth, which is no longer used because we'll be putting in a nice new Carl's 3 core flex, cloth covered flex on this fella. And he's also quite good, so we'll certainly resurrect him. There is one standoff here, which was out of our little trimmer. I'm just going through this, guys, in case you attempt one of these. And just a few tips, like keeping things in order, just makes the actual process a lot easier. Now, this is the positive of our gramophone input, which I didn't know we had on this actually, and it doesn't show on either diagram, but we've since learnt that this is an M96, it's not a 97. And I think 96 was used in the old school grams, so as well as the console radios. Now, I did miss a washer there on that last one. And our last one is a ground for the gramophone or the turntable or whatever it was connected with. Okay, so I'll drop him out. Nothing special about it. It's just a ground. And while I see it, there's the other spacer. Now, I hope you guys are along here with me, because I might need your help putting this thing together. It's quite a project. It's a big project. Now, okay, let's see what we've got. In actual fact, pretty much everything should come out. Hang on, I'll give you a better picture of this. You can't miss this. It's big. Right. Now, just jiggle, 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 and keep jiggling. Wires are coming out the top. Keep jiggling. We'll jiggle a little bit more. Some wires at the top. What is on that one? A little bit of solder is stopping one there. Right. Okay, that fella. Pull these down. And look at that. We have a mess. Oh dear. There it is, guys. There's my Breville M96 radio. Let's have a look at the other side. Yeah, it looks just as bad on this side as well. Make it easier to replace some caps. Most of the leads are going to be, well, all the wiring is going to be replaced. But yep, there she is. How about that? Probably makes it a little bit easier to work on. Right. This switch very, very dirty. So the band switch will have to come out. That will be a job on his own. The pot, we will have to check out and make sure he's working, clean it, make sure the switch works, all that. And of course the capacitors. So there we go, guys. That's the bit inside. That's our component side. And all of a sudden, we've got a chassis that we can very easily clean up. Won't that be good? So we've got to remove those 4 spaces that holds our ladder board. And this fella here, which holds something. This will make our job heaps and heaps easier. So we're going to completely strip this. We've got a grommet here we've got to put in. There's 2 grommets at the front. There's a grommet up here at the back. Probably replicate our Arts and P. These are only small rivets that the plates are on with. So I'm going to remove those. And on here, we've actually got written aerial, earth, and pickup. Speaker, plug. Okay, so I guess that's speaker plug, which is that fella in the center, which is this. Well, it says an 80, the 42, the 6B7, 6D6, and the AK2 up the front. So I'll take a few pictures of this. Actually, I'll take hundreds of pictures of this and remove the grommets, and we'll start stripping him out, and I'll just take some bits and pieces of the pictures as I go along. There may be some video amongst it, but that's where we're up to. So there we go. Chassis removal, chassis radio parts removal, ready for the rebuild. Okay, guys, we'll call it quits on this one. I will keep you in the loop over here with all the bits and pieces that have got to be done. But that will be a video in itself, as I said, just bits and pieces. The band switch, the volume control. We do have a socket. The 80 socket has been arcing, so we've got to do something with that. And rewire, recap. I think we can, get this going quite nicely, actually. All right, I'll leave you with that mess. See what you think. I love comments. If you reckon this is never going to go again, please tell me, because it may not. But anyway, is following along, and I hope you're enjoying this. So I certainly am, but I may not enjoy the putting back together part of it, which is the hard bit. Righto, guys. Until next time, the cleaning up and the respraying and all that will be in the next video, I'd say. So we'll attack this, but we'll get the chassis right to start with. Okay. Until next time, remember to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like this, and subscribe and click the bell. That way you'll see the next part of this that maybe doesn't work. Okay, bye for now.